You love your cat. You buy them the best food, you shower them with affection, and you try to give them the perfect life. But what if I told you a secret? The very things you do to show your love might actually be stressing them out. Welcome back to Purr and Ponder. Today we are decoding the invisible language of felines. This is where cat psychology becomes so important. Your cat is not being dramatic. They are reacting through instincts, body language, and survival patterns. These are 7 common cat behavior mistakes that many loving owners make without realizing they may be causing stress, confusion, or fear. By the end of this video, everything you thought you knew about your cat's boundaries will change. From a human point of view, this feels like love. As primates, we express affection through physical closeness. We naturally hug, squeeze, and hold. We assume our cats interpret a tight embrace as a gesture of deep affection. But your cat's body may read that same moment very differently. To a cat, a hug doesn't necessarily mean "I love you." Often it means "I am trapped." Cats are both predators and prey. Their primary defense mechanism in the wild is flight. When you restrict their movement by wrapping your arms around them, you are mirroring a larger predator. Recent behavioral studies analyzing cats being held by their owners have discovered subtle signs of acute stress. You might notice them freezing in your arms. You might see lip licking, flattened ears, or subtle skin twitching along their back. Your cat might tolerate the hug. However, their body may be entering a stress response even if they appear perfectly calm on the outside. So the kinder way to show affection is to give them a choice. Practice the consent test. Extend a single finger towards your cat's nose. Let them approach you. If they rub their cheek against your hand, they are inviting interaction. If they sniff and start walking away, respect space. Love your cat by giving them the freedom to leave. But physical touch is only one part of the problem. The next mistake happens silently from across the room, and most owners think it means love. To us, eye contact feels intimate. Looking deeply into the eyes of someone you love is a romantic, bonding human experience. Many owners try to lock eyes with their cats from across the room to establish a connection. But in feline language, a direct stare can send a very different message. In the feline world, a prolonged, unblinking stare is often perceived as a direct challenge. It can be seen as an act of hostility. When you stare at your cat, you might be speaking the language of a street fighter. If you see their dilated pupils or notice them quickly turning their head away, they are likely feeling anxious. They are trying to de-escalate what they perceive as a threat in their own territory. So if you want to speak in a language your cat understands, use the slow blink. Groundbreaking scientific research shows that cats respond positively to slow blinking. They interpret it as a sign of absolute trust. Make eye contact with your cat. Soften your gaze. Slowly close your eyes for a full second, then open them while slightly turning your head away. Watch closely, they will likely return the gesture. And while you're managing how you look at them, you might be completely ignoring how their environment feels to them, specifically how it smells. To us, a fresh-smelling home feels clean, calm, and relaxing. We use citrus-scented floor cleaners, plug-in air fresheners, and diffuse essential oils to create a relaxing environment. But your cat lives in a world built from scent. A cat's sense of smell is far more sensitive than ours. They experience the world primarily through an invisible architecture of scent. Strong chemical odors are not just unpleasant to them. Scents like citrus, eucalyptus, and lavender can be incredibly overwhelming. Imagine living in a room where someone is constantly spraying heavy perfume directly into your face. Furthermore, some essential oils can be risky or even dangerous for cats. This is especially true when used often or in poorly ventilated rooms. Masking the natural scent of your home does more than hide odors. It effectively clouds your cat's spatial awareness. Watch their reactions. Do they constantly leave the room when you clean? Do they avoid their freshly washed bed? If so, they are communicating their discomfort. So instead of covering the home in strong fragrances, make the environment feel safe through familiar scent. Switch to unscented, pet-safe cleaning products. Avoid essential oil diffusers in rooms where your cat spends time. Allow your home to smell like you and them. That shared scent profile is what makes a house feel like a safe haven. Speaking of their environment, the next mistake is the ultimate betrayal of trust, and it happens right when they look the most adorable. Before we uncover the infamous belly trap, take a second to notice how much your cat depends on you to understand their signals. If this video is helping you read your cat's hidden language, subscribe to Purr and Ponder. Now, let's talk about that fluffy belly. This is one of the easiest signals for humans to misunderstand. Your cat rolls over onto their back, exposing their soft, fluffy belly. Naturally, you assume this is an invitation for a belly rub. You reach in and suddenly, claws, teeth, and a swift kick. You feel betrayed. But in your cat's world, showing the belly is usually about trust, not permission. The feline abdomen houses all their vital organs. It is their most vulnerable area. By exposing it to you, they are sending a message. They are essentially saying, I trust you enough to let my guard down. When you reach in to rub the belly, you may inadvertently break that trust. For many cats, this triggers a natural reflex to protect themselves. This results in defensive bites, rabbit kicks, and agitated tail flicking. Some rare cats do genuinely enjoy belly rubs, but for many cats, this gesture feels deeply confusing. So the best response is not to grab the belly, but to honor the trust. Acknowledge the compliment, but do not take the bait. When your cat rolls over, offer a soft verbal affirmation. Say, I see you, you're a good kitty. Give them a gentle scratch behind the ears or under the chin instead. But even if you respect their physical boundaries, you might be stressing them out without even touching them. In fact, you might be causing a sonic earthquake. We often think sound is only a problem if it seems loud to us. We stomp heavily around the house, we place their beds near washing machines, or turn up the bass on our speakers. We simply assume they will walk away if they don't like it. But cats don't just hear sound. They feel it through their whole body. Their paw pads are equipped with ultra-sensitive nerve endings called Pacinian corpuscles. These allow them to detect minuscule vibrations on the ground. Think about where you place their litter box. Is it near a vibrating dryer? Do heavy footsteps shake the floorboards? To your cat, this can feel like a constant, low-level earthquake. You might notice them with flattened ears or wide eyes, unable to fully relax. This creates a state of hypervigilance. It makes it incredibly hard for them to achieve deep, restorative sleep. Vacuum cleaners, blenders, hair dryers, and loud televisions may seem normal to us, but to a sensitive cat, they can make the home feel impossible to relax in. So your goal is to create at least one part of the home where their nervous system can finally relax. Create a Zen zone. Ensure their resting areas, food bowls, and litter boxes are located in low-traffic, vibration-free areas of the house. Walk with a lighter step. Always be mindful of low-frequency sounds. And while we're on the subject of where things are placed in your home, there's a massive mistake sitting right in your kitchen. It looks organized to you, but to your cat, it's an evolutionary red flag. To us, placing food and water side by side looks neat and convenient. A cute little mat with the food bowl on the left and the water bowl directly on the right. We do this for ourselves, assuming convenience is universally appreciated. But your cat's instincts may not see convenience. They may see contamination. This setup can actually conflict with their deeply ingrained evolutionary instincts. In the wild, if a feral cat makes a kill, the carcass will inevitably attract bacteria. If that carcass is near a water source, their instinct kicks in. It tells them the water might be contaminated. Your domestic cat might eat premium kibble from a fancy ceramic bowl, but their DNA is still whispering a warning. Water placed next to food is highly suspicious. This may be one reason some cats avoid their water bowl, especially when it is placed too close to food. It's also why they often prefer to drink from dripping faucets or your personal water glass. So make hydration feel safer by separating their resources. Move your cat's water bowl at least a few feet away from their feeding station. Preferably put it in an entirely different room. Provide multiple water stations around the house to encourage hydration on their own terms. This brings us to our final point. When our cats react to these stressful setups by misbehaving, we often respond in the worst way possible. When a cat scratches the sofa or jumps on the counter, our first instinct is often to correct it immediately. We resort to shouting, clapping loudly, or using a spray bottle filled with water. We assume this teaches them a lesson about right and wrong. But your cat is not learning the lesson you think you are teaching. Cats don't understand delayed punishment the way humans often assume they do. They do not feel guilt in the human sense. When you yell or spray them with water, you will see their dilated pupils as they cower or run away. They do not think, "I shouldn't have scratched the sofa." Instead, they may simply learn that you are unpredictable or frightening in that moment. This approach damages the human-feline bond. It teaches your cat to fear you rather than teaching them to stop the behavior. They will simply learn to do the unwanted behavior when you are not in the room. So instead of punishment, guide them toward the behavior you want. Employ positive reinforcement and redirection. Does your cat scratch the sofa? Place a high-quality scratching post directly next to that spot. Sprinkle it with a little catnip. Reward them for using the post. Shape their environment so that the right choice is the most appealing choice. So if you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. Your cat doesn't need louder love. They need safer love. They need love that gives them choice, distance, scent, silence, and trust. Paying attention to those tiny signals, the skin twitches, the ear flicks, the slow blinks, is how you truly show them you care. Which of these 7 mistakes surprised you the most? And be honest, which one have you done without realizing it? Let us know down in the comments. Loving a cat is not about forcing them into a human mold. It is about having the grace and the patience to learn a completely different language. They don't speak in words, hugs, or direct stares. They speak in slow blinks, subtle tail flicks, and the quiet trust of sleeping beside you. Every purr is a privilege. Every moment they choose to share their space with you is a gift. It is our job as their guardians to translate our human love into a language they can understand. Because when you finally stop loving your cat the way you want and start loving them the way they need, that is when the true magic of the human-feline bond begins. Thank you for watching Purr and Ponder. Go give your cat a slow blink for me. See you in the next video.